morning.
Morning. Wow, you're awake. I love an audience that's awake. As stated, my name is Clark Roberts. I'm the Executive Director of Ultimate Vision, a non-profit corporation that through my God-given gift of sight loss, I get to give clear vision to create future leaders to see their potential through a lens of kindness, compassion, and empathy. I'm a speaker and author and podcast host called Coffee with Clark and Carrie, Living to Lead Through Your Adversity. Okay? We're going to have some fun today. Oh, I should introduce her too. That is Aurelia. She is a working guide dog. She's dog number 6. So I've been doing this for just a year or two. Now, let me give you real quickly the 4 rules of a working guide dog so I can educate you a little bit. First, you do not pet her until you ask and are given permission. You do not touch her harness handle. That's her steering wheel. You're messing with her harness handle, I'm going to probably crash, and it doesn't feel good. Thirdly, you do not feed her, and you do not give her water. So remember those 4, and life will be great. Okay? So now, what I would love you to do for me this morning as we get started is I want to give you a presentation that I title Transforming the T in Can't. So close your eyes for me. As all of your eyes are closed, I want you to think about all of your hopes, your dreams, your desires, everything that you enjoy doing, your sports, your music, your hobbies. And then a doctor steps into your world and tells you that within the next 15 years, you're going to be totally blind. Nothing that you can do to change or to alter the course other than to accept it or reject it. What will you do? You may now open your eyes. You see, that's where I was. I was an 18-year-old freshman attending the University of Idaho. I had my life in front of me. I knew where it was going. I figured there was 4, maybe 5 years tops. I would graduate and go out to have all these wonderful, incredible adventures until February 28th of 1973 came. It was a very cold winter day. I'd been in that doctor's office 2 weeks before, and he had asked me to return. This was that day. I woke and prepared for the day, but I wasn't in a hurry because everything was in slow motion. Later that afternoon, as a friend would walk into the lobby of the dorm that I lived in, would say, "Clark, it's time." So I'd walk out in the cold, feel it penetrate my lungs, into my nose. Got in the car, we drove 8 short miles from Moscow, Idaho to Pullman, Washington. I would walk into the doctor's office and to be met by a receptionist. Gave me a hello, smile. Said, "Take a seat, Clark, it's going to be a little while." So I sat down, grabbed a magazine, and started to read. As I was reading, sitting there reading, all of a sudden, says, "Clark, it's your turn." So I walked into the doctor's office. Sat down in a big leather chair in front of his big oak desk and waited some more. Then he came in and set a folder on his desk in his loud thumb. "Hi, Clark." Gave me a little bit of quick small talk, and then he says, "Clark," he says, "I've got some news." And I'm thinking, yes, I know you got news because that's why I'm here. And he leaned back in his chair one more time. He says, "Clark," he says, "I've looked at these tests backwards and forwards any way that I can. I keep coming up with the same conclusion, and my insides are about to scream. What is it? I want to know. Come on, tell me. And then he leaned back in his chair. And he says, Clark, you have a disease known as retinitis pigmentosa, and you're going blind. What did you just say? You have retinitis pigmentosa, and you're going blind. For the next 45 minutes, I listened, but I didn't listen because I didn't want to listen. I went into shutdown mode. I got mad and frustrated and angry, but most of all, I got scared. What will I do? What should I do? What could I do? And if I have a life, what will my life look like? Those thoughts ran through my being as we drove the 8 miles back to Moscow, Idaho, from Pullman, Washington, to the University of Idaho campus. Before I knew it, the car stopped in front of my dorm. I got out and I slammed the door and I climbed 3 flights of stairs up to my dorm. As I entered the floor of the dorm, it was dark and quiet. Everybody was either in their room studying or in the library. I entered my room and I took off my coat and I threw it in a corner. My room was empty and dark because my roommate, a pre-veterinary major, was in the library, would not be back until midnight. So I went and I sat on my floor. So I'm sitting on my floor, I'm bawling like a baby. Bawling. What am I going to do? Blindness and blind people, they only get to exist. They don't get to have a life. And if that's all that's left, then I'm ready to check out and be done. Sitting there thinking my life through suicide. I stand here today to tell you this. Life is a very precious gift. Do not throw it away. Whatever challenges come, it is a gift. Unwrap it, cherish it, and share it. So as I would start to move forward from that particular day, I would start getting all these crazy ideas as an individual who's now an individual living with impaired vision. I'd get an idea and I'd start talking about it, and somebody say, "You can't." Okay, fine. I'd get another idea, and before long somebody would go, "You can't." And before long I got really tired of hearing about that word. I was doing some counseling with a pastor friend of mine, and we're talking about this, and I said, "Ellis, everybody keeps telling me that I can, and if I do, then I'm going to fall on my face or I'd break my nose." He leans back in his chair and says, "Clark, how do you know if you're going to break your nose and fall on your face and break your nose if you never ever tried?" Oh, hello. If you never ever try, you don't know what you can do. If you never ever try, you don't know what you can do. Sometimes when you try, you fall down and you fail. All of us have failed at something. But you get back up and you try and you try and you try again. Katie Levecki last summer at the Summer Olympics, they did an interview with her. She was a swimmer on the U.S. swimming team. They started interviewing her and they said, "Katie, how do you do all the things you do?" She says, "You're perfect." She says, "No, I'm not perfect. I just try. She came home with 7 gold medals last summer. Shaun White at the Winter Olympics, snowboarder. Everybody kept telling Shaun, he says, Shaun, you're too old at age 35. You're too old. You're not going to be able to compete and do what you want to do. He came this close to bringing home the gold medal as the oldest snowboarder. Because why? He tried. He tried. And here's a quote to remember from me. Our accomplishments in life are not measured by our abilities or disabilities, but rather by our willingness to try. The first way that you transform the teen camp is by trying. This week you're going to be thrown into a whole lot of new things that you've never been exposed to, probably. You're going to start learning about business and business practices and business ways. So what are you going to do this week? You're going to try. You're going to try. Some things might work, might not work exactly how you think that they should, but keep trying. Keep trying. The next thing that you need to do, or the next way that we transform the teen camp after you try, is trust. Trust means to rely upon someone or something totally. Trust is something that I do every single moment of every single day. From the time that my feet hit the floor in the morning until I lay my head on the pillow that night. First thing in the morning when I get out of bed, I'm trusting myself that I can get myself from the side of the bed to the bathroom without running into something. Then I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to push the button on the coffee pot to make sure that there's coffee coming out of the coffee pot, because there's coffee with it. Coffee is better with everything in every conversation, every single moment of every single day. Yes, I love coffee. Starbucks has made a little bit. Then I'm going to trust my dog. If I need to go to a business meeting or I got to go someplace, I'm going to trust my dog that my dog is going to safely get me from point A to point B. That I'm not going to run into anything or get myself there safely. I walk into my local coffee shop, I'm going to trust the barista is going to get for me exactly what I want. And then I'm going to take out my wallet, and I'm going to give them my debit card. And hopefully, prayerfully, they're going to debit it the right amount of money for the right thing that I ordered so that I can then go home. And if I give them cash, I'm going to trust them that they're going to give me back the right amount of cash so that I can put it back in my wallet and I can use it the next time that I walk into wherever it is I want to spend it. I trust when I climb on the back of my tandem bicycle, which I love to be outdoors and feel the wind in my face and the sweat coming out of my helmet and listen to the tires roll on the pavement. But you see, first I'm trusting the bike that it's not going to fall apart. Secondly, I'm trusting the captain who's sitting in the captain's seat to make sure that we get where we're going and we don't end up having any accidents. And if we do, that's just another adventure. But you see, it starts by trusting to rely upon someone or something totally. Business. This week, you're going to trust all of those teammates that you're going to be placed on a company with. You're going to trust them that they're going to show up. You're going to trust them that they're going to do what they've been assigned to do so that your team can be successful moving forward. You're going to trust yourself that you can do what it is that you need to do so that your team can get everything accomplished and you be the best that you can be at what you're doing. First you try, then you trust, and then you're teachable. Having a mindset of being taught This week, during Washington Business Week, you're going to learn new things. But don't have your heels dug in so hard, so deep, that you're just like saying, I got it all figured out. You see, the night that I sat on my dorm floor, thinking about blindness and blind people, what I knew is what I thought was everything or anything that needed to happen. That's a bunch of squat. You see, I had a fixed mindset. I needed to expand my mind and have a growth mindset. Thinking about what blind people could do. I didn't know any better. But you need to test your thoughts. Test your ideas. Talk to people. Read. Get educated continually. Learning, moving forward. To become the best individual, the best leader, and to be able to use the potential that each and every one of you has in here. Use that potential so that you can go out there and be the best at whatever, wherever you do it. Continue moving forward. Continue doing. But it starts by having a mindset of learning, being educated. Blind people do incredible, wonderful things, and a lot of people find out some of the things that I like to do, and they go, Clark, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. And I go, yeah. But you know what? I enjoy life. Life is a gift. Whether you can see or you can't see or other things are going on, you have to enjoy it, appreciate it, and continue moving forward. First you try, then you trust, then you're teachable, then you're transformed. Transforming your mind along with being teachable. As you transform your thoughts in business, as you transform your thoughts in your personal life, you become this individual that you can be. So that you can go, do, create. This week you're going to be exposed to a lot of new ideas, a lot of new ways, and a lot of new thoughts. And some of you are going to say, that doesn't make any sense. There's been times when I've sat at my computer or in my office or at a meeting and going, that doesn't make any sense. But when you take and you put it all together, you bring individuals together that are doing certain things, certain areas, and you realize, wow, if I bring my ideas to the table, if I bring who I am to the table, if I bring what I enjoy doing to the table, and we join together as a united group, we can move forward and we can change the world. It's true. I sat in a meeting yesterday with a lot of incredible, wonderful, like-minded individuals. The Seahawks training facility. A lot of individuals wanting to do things within the coalition of common goals. Leaders. But they started by having their lives, their minds transformed so that they could move forward to be the best that they could be. You have that same ability. You have that same potential. Don't throw it away. Use it. And allow yourself to be used in your high school, in your family, in business, so that you continue moving forward and you continue being a transformer. First we try, then we trust, then we have an attitude of being teachable or being taught, then you transform. If you do all those, then you thrive. You go out and live an incredible life as a business individual, as a high school student, piercing in your life, family, thriving, moving forward. A lot of people looked at me when I was diagnosed with my sight loss and said, "Clark, you're not going to have any kind of life." And I go, because you see, I still wanted to have a life. I didn't know how it was going to work. Yeah, there were questions. But I've been given confidence, kindness, and compassion, and empathy. And I've been allowed to go forward, have a life, have an incredible life. A wonderful, beautiful, supportive wife that I get to work with every single day. 2 amazing kids. 2 beautiful grandchildren. A speaking business. Writing. Podcast. I get to go out and enjoy cycling, skiing, swimming, hiking. Doing all the things that I enjoy and I love to do. But you see, it first started by trying. Then by trusting. And it started by being teachable. Having this mindset of continuing to grow, continuing to be educated, to continue to lead, leading through adversity. Having my life, my mind transformed. And then thriving. Thriving in and through life. Because here's the key. Here's the key. Life is a gift. Unwrap it. Cherish it. And share every single moment that it gives to you. Wherever you go. Whatever you do, and whoever you're with. Have an amazing week with Washington Business Week.